Welcome to the heart of Northeast China, where the portion sizes are big and the personalities are even bigger. You're gonna want to bring snacks for this one because I've got a lineup of mouth-watering comfort food like you've never seen. Plus a meal so big I needed to bring backup to eat it all. All that coming up and more, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another Chinese food adventure, and welcome to the end of the universe. Let me explain. If you watch my videos, you probably already know I live in Dongbei, aka the northeast of China. And in the last few weeks, I've had a lot of free time, and I decided to ask my Chinese social media subscribers, where should I go in Dongbei that I haven't already been? And the comments just exploded. But one suggestion just kept popping up again and again. People kept telling me, Amy, you need to go to the end of the universe in Tieling. So here I am. This, my friends, is the city of Tieling. But why is it called the end of the universe, you may be asking? It turns out this phrase originated about 5 years ago from a comedy skit, where a comedian who actually comes from this city described her own hometown as the end of the universe. But jokes about the city, they didn't start there. 20 years previous to that, back in 1999 at a New Year gala, a comedian also from this area of China dreamed of going to a big city in China.
下一步我准备领他出去旅游，走一走比较大的城市。好想法，去趟铁岭。
Which is funny because I mean, Tieling, it's no Shanghai. It's just another very normal Dongbei city, but therein lies its charm. Dongbei, to its core, is full of personality, a place where people aren't afraid to laugh at themselves or tell it to you straight.
铁岭有什么好玩的？
没什么太好玩的。
So let's do this. Let's begin our exploration of the end of the universe with a spot of breakfast with the help of today's sponsor, the Insta360 X5.
My taxi driver has brought me to this market where they're still selling breakfast. It's a bit of a weird hour for breakfast. I mean, 9 a.m. is definitely still breakfast time as far as I'm concerned, but for many people in China, that is already past the point of no return. Actually, the breakfast market that is here in Tieling, it already is closed by 9 a.m., but this place is still open. My taxi driver told me that they're selling a 鸡蛋饼, like an egg pancake here that's quite good.
那不外国小姑是啥呀？
对，我是外国人。
你看人家会说中国话。
一点点。你们这里卖那个鸡蛋饼吗？
这我都是卖鸡蛋饼。
都是卖鸡蛋。鸡蛋饼是什么？
裹着小丸子，还有香肠、鸡蛋，完了烙一个饼，
好吃吗？
你尝尝就得了。
中国有一句俗话，说卖香瓜的，你问香瓜甜不？他能说苦吗？
你告诉铁岭必须得吃鸡蛋饼。
你说的太对了。
人那过来的，你咋学的呢？
咋学的？
嗯，
就像咱
从老师学的。嗯。
那不是说一小小就接触这个语，
没有，我21岁才开始学中文。
那你就学会了。
没有，我快33，还没学好。
你现在都33了。
对。
哎呀妈，像咱那边23呀。
我喜欢你。
Anyway, let's talk about this egg pancake. It's pretty similar to a jianbing with a few minor differences. So after the egg is added and is flipped, sauce is added, as well as your spring onion and coriander, then you've got these airy dough balls added, kind of like a youtiao substitute, I guess. Also, you've got a heap of extra sauce added as well.
才7块钱是吧？
7元，
好便宜啊！
因为外地人来说都便宜。
行，还行，挺便宜的。
你也是田里的吗？
对对，
那田里有什么好玩的？下一站可以去哪儿玩？
去那个武中那个担担面。
担担面，这儿也有担担面。
有啊。
和四川的担担面有区别吗？
啊，肯定有区别。
I'm determined to check that out a bit later, but for now, I've been distracted by all the steam coming from the stall next door that's making kouleng mian.
Kouleng mian literally translates as grilled cold noodle. They basically take a noodle sheet and then they put it on the grill so it's not cold for long. And then they put egg on top.
Then a few minutes later, once the noodle is cooked, it's flipped over so the egg's on the outside, then it's painted with sauce, you've got chili if you want it, a whole heap of sugar, then vinegar, cumin, then your spring onion and coriander, then finally a crispy bao cui, which is basically deep fried dough to give it that crunch once it's all wrapped up together. Then we've got some more sauce going on top, some more vinegar too, and well, why not, more sauce.
My eyes were definitely bigger than my stomach. I have bought 2 massive breakfasts, and I have to admit the one that is exciting me the most is the kouleng mian. I haven't had it in so long. I will not ever be able to eat both, so let's see if I can give my 鸡蛋饼 to someone. 你好，你吃鸡蛋饼吗？我刚买了，我点的太多 多了。
送给我的，
对，我刚买了，
谢谢啊。
没问题。这是什么？
这是榛子，
我可以吃一个吗？
是吧？
Today I learned that Tieling actually sits in one of China's main hazelnut growing regions, and walking around today I saw them being sold everywhere. They're so fragrant, it's almost like eating Nutella right out of the jar.
吃得开心，谢谢你，拜拜。Great success. Now I have one breakfast. Let's find somewhere warm to eat it.
And I hit the jackpot here. On the second level of this small mall, I found a public dining area where it seems I'm not the only one also coming here to escape the cold.
It has been years since I last had kolang mian, and I even want to say the last time I had one was in Sydney, weirdly enough, and kolang mian is like a Dongbei thing, and I've been living here for 4 years now. I don't know why I haven't, I mean I love kolang mian, maybe I just have never been in the mood or seen like a good one, but when I saw this being made for another customer, I knew I had to have it. I mean, look how saucy this is. This is like breakfast of champions right here. Oh. The thing that's great about a kolang mian is the texture element, because you've got this chewy noodle where usually with this kind of dish you'd have some kind of bread, so it's just a completely different texture sensation. And on some parts of the noodles that's been like grilled a little bit more, it has a little bit of a crispiness to it as well. And then you've got the flavor. This is so freaking full of flavor. You saw how many spices and sauces and aromatics she put on top of this. It's sweet. She put a lot of sugar on there. It's also sour from the vinegar as well, so it's that sweet sour flavor profile. But beyond that, you've also got the chili, so it's a little bit spicy as well. And then you just have this blanket of cumin across everything, so it's kind of giving Shaokao spice as well. And then you've got the egg, so I guess it's giving breakfast. But before we leave the gorgeous warmth of this food court here, I want to introduce the sponsor of today's video. It's my favorite device. You guys already know what it is. I've been using it for half this video already. It's the Insta360 X5. It's Insta360's newest 360-degree camera with 8K resolution for 360-degree footage, as well as 144% larger sensor than the previous model. So image quality is on point. It also has adaptive tone mode for tricky lighting and pure video mode for low light scenes. So this thing can handle any environment. But let's take one step back. For those of you who may be asking, why do I need a 360-degree camera? Well, there are three main reasons. Firstly, because it has two lenses here, and then the camera stitches the image from both of those together, it has the ability to make the selfie stick invisible. So you can get some incredible angles and shots that look like you've got your own personal videographer, or even a drone.
打电话的时候是可以这么的。
Hey, 我要. Secondly, because this is filming all angles at all times, you can actually choose after the fact when you're editing your video which angle you want. You can choose whether you want your video to be horizontal or vertical, zoomed in, zoomed out, POV or selfie view. You can even let AI auto-select the best angle for each moment of the video. Also, you don't have to be too gentle with it. If it gets a bump, no problem. The lenses are stronger and more durable than ever, and they now come with replaceable lenses. You can replace the lens and be back to vlogging within 5 minutes. Insta360's also just released this vlogging grip, so you can just plug it in and go for ease of use when vlogging. Another thing I love about the X5 is you can actually pair it with the Mic Air, which is Insta360's teeny tiny wireless microphone featuring noise reduction. You can just turn it on and go and get clean audio right out of the camera. Anyway, let's do this. Let's explore the end of the universe. I don't have a particular destination in mind. I kind of feel like with a city like this, the vibes come to you. You don't go to the vibes. I'm just gonna marinate in Tieling today. After 5 or so kilometers of exploring Tieling, I felt ready for my next snack. Probably the food that Tieling is most famous for, huoshao. You find huoshao all over China, but here they're spelt a bit different. And they also look really, really good from the photos I've seen online. The next one we see, we're gonna go to. Which ended up being this store here, and from the outside, I even thought maybe it might be closed, but I opened the door and it was packed. I was not expecting this. I've been sat in here for a good 10 minutes. I've just been collecting myself, because a lot happens the moment you walk in the door. The first thing that hits you is the steam. It is so hot in here. It took at least 10 minutes for my cameras to stop fogging up. And also, as soon as you arrive, the boss is asking you how many people, and then he's sitting you at any available space. It is very busy in here. 10 people have just arrived. I have no idea where they're gonna sit. I'm at a share table right now. There are 3 other people here. They've showed me how to make my sauce, which is basically get some vinegar, some soy sauce, some chili, and I'm gonna put my my huoshao in there. Also, as soon as you sit, your food is right in front of you. Like, they don't mess around. Within 10 seconds of you sitting down, you have your baked buns and also your soup. The other thing they're famous for here is this yang tang. And a cool thing about it is there's just a guy that's going around with the soup, And if you want more soup, they just add more soup whenever you want. Here are the huoshao. I hope they haven't gotten too cold because I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes while I wait for my cameras to unfog. Just gonna try it by itself before I add any sauce. Oh, that is so freaking good. You already know the next thing I'm gonna say. As an Australian, this would go great with some tomato sauce. Actually, a hobby, not a hobby, but something I like to do with pies in China is I like to BYO tomato sauce because the pie can be quite a heavy taste. I mean, it's meaty, it's fragrant from some spring onion inside, and you really need something sweetness to cut through the richness. But let's dip it in here. In the absence of tomato sauce, we've got a vinegar, chili, soy sauce. It's no tomato sauce, but it's a very pleasant alternative. What it lacks in the sweet department, it makes up for in the smokiness from the chili sauce, and then it's got the vinegar, so it cuts through the grease.
Then you've got this mutton broth, which unexpectedly is super refreshing and is the perfect palate cleanser for between bites. It goes down a treat with those cakes.
But I don't think I'm gonna hang around too much. This place is super chaotic. Like, I think I've accidentally come to like the most famous place.
There's still 10 or so people waiting in the aisle for a table, so I think that's my cue to leave.
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. But there is another thing that I want to try here in Tieling, and it's dandan mian. I mean, dandan mian is something that comes from Sichuan. I had it only a few weeks ago when I was in Chengdu. It's a spicy thing. Dongbei, we're on like the other end of China, and there are signs for dandan mian everywhere here. I was even recommended it at the market I was at this morning. So let's see what the Tieling dandan mian is all about.
你好，就想吃一下那个担担面。这个担担面是铁岭版的还是四川版的？
我们是铁岭味儿的。你要啥口？
我要铁岭的。
那就酸甜的啊。
可以可以。
好。
为什么铁岭有担担面？因为离成都离四川这么远。
不知道啊。
One thing's for sure, there's no chance you'd confuse this with the Sichuan version. This is very much its own thing.
I have never seen a dandan mian in Sichuan before that looks like this. With this flavor profile, with this collection of noodles, we have 3 different types of noodles on here. We've got the yellow noodles, we've got the liangpi, the cold starch noodles, as well as niujin, which is this really fun, like spongy noodle, and it has so many nooks and crannies in it. She puts in an entire ladle of sugar into this, so I'm expecting it to be quite sweet. She mentioned that when the dish came to Tieling, they've shifted it to like a sweet and sour flavor profile. And yeah, this is more of a soup than a sauce, I have to say. To be honest, I'm struggling to see the resemblance to the original dish in this, but as I recently did learn when I was in Chengdu with Shanshan, she mentioned that dandan noodles are less of like a flavor, a specific flavor, a specific dish, but a way of selling. Because you've got the biandan, which is the bamboo pole with the 2 baskets on either side, and then people would just sell with whatever toppings and ingredients they had on hand. So I guess technically anything could be a dandan noodle. So I guess they've maybe taken that to heart. Anyway, bottoms up, let's try these Tieling dandan mian. It tastes like dongbei. That is the dongbei flavor profile. The sweet and the sour. It reminds me a lot of lengmian actually. It feels quite fresh and refreshing because this is also a cold noodle. Again, completely different to dandan mian you'd find in Sichuan. A lot of sesame sauce as well. We love our sesame sauce here. I say we because after living here for 4 years, sesame sauce is like the base of my food pyramid at this stage. It's a heavy feature of my diet, let me tell you. It's also super garlicky. Dongbei people love their garlic. I think if you come here expecting a bowl of Sichuan style dandan mian, you'll be disappointed. But if you come here with an open mind and just eat what's in front of you and just enjoy it for what it is, I think you'll be very, very happy.
Next up on our Tieling End of the Universe Magical Mystery Tour is something I've been excited for all day. So I discovered on social media that Tieling here is home to a decades-old ice cream store that's been serving up homemade ice cream and milkshakes since 1992. So let's go check it out.
你有什么口味的？
原味儿、菠萝、麻酱，芒果，
这个，
这泡泡糖，
这个呢？
这是哈密瓜。
你拿几个都可以。
They recommended I try their 3 top-selling flavors: original, pineapple, and sesame sauce flavor. What a combo. They also strongly recommended I get a glass of milk. And look, I'll be honest, I'm not usually a fan of just drinking straight up milk, but I'm not one to ignore a local recommendation, so I'm gonna keep an open mind on this one.
这个对吗？
是一是。
哦，41，这个对吗？
不行，
一是。
哦，
一是
这个
对，就这个。
哦，好便宜。
是。
I thought she said 41, but it's actually 40. Definitely the last thing I expected to find in Tieling is a 30-year-old ice cream store. And it's like old school diner style. It's somehow super nostalgic. I've gotten 3 different flavors of ice cream. And she also said to get a glass of milk. Apparently this is how they've been doing it all the years. Let's try the milk. Ooh, I just thought it was gonna be plain milk, but it's like a beverage. It's a milky beverage. It almost tastes like melted vanilla ice cream, but in like milk form. Okay, I'm much more excited about that now that I've tried it. Now let's try the ice cream. Try the original first. It tastes more bubblegummy than I was expecting. I thought that the taste of this would be the same as the taste of the milk, but it's different. It's like a bit, yeah, bubblegummy, but good. Pineapple. Oh, that's definitely pineapple-y. But it's also creamy at the same time, so it's not like a sorbet. I think this one I'm the most excited for. Wow. Yeah, that, wow. That tastes exactly like you just spooned sesame sauce from the can and you put it in your mouth, except as an ice cream. It tastes exactly like sesame paste. Really random experience, but it's really good. I would definitely want to come here again. 谢谢. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Because it's winter, the sun is going down at 4. It is actually an early dinner I'm heading to, and I'm heading to a very special place. I'm very excited about this. 坐前面可以吗?
If they call Tieling the end of the universe, I'm not sure what you could call the restaurant that we're about to go to. It's really in the middle of nowhere. A 50-minute drive out of Tieling, to be exact. I've been wanting to come here for years, and I think this is the closest I'm gonna get. So I'm in the taxi now. We are going to Zhonggu Fandian. And the reason I want to go to Zhonggu Fandian is the portions are massive, and every single person I have asked what they think of the food at Zhonggu Fandian, because it is quite famous, they always say the same thing. They say 味道一半，饭量很大，对吗？
对的，味道呢，我觉得啊，就是作为一个铁岭人，感觉很一般，但是菜量非常大。
多大？
非常大。
I mean, here in Dongbei, portion sizes are really, really big, but it seems that this restaurant even takes it one step further. So for that reason, I've actually gone online and asked my Chinese social media audience again if anyone is free today that wants to come and eat with me.
We're here at 5, right on the dot at 5 p.m. I'm here a bit early, but you can already see, oh, puppy dog, what are you doing out here? Did someone leave you outside? Hello, gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous. Oh, you must be so cold. Maybe I'd let you inside. Someone left you outside, little puppy.
I learned he's actually the dog of one of the restaurant staff, and I promised to bring him some scraps later.
I've just arrived, but something just happened that has never happened to me before. I'm going to be meeting with 3 other people, so we're a 4-person team. So I went to sit at a 4-person table, and the waitress came up to me and she said, look, I don't think this is a good idea. The food is physically not going to fit on your table. The dishes are so big that she's recommended that I move to an entire like round style table here for 4 people. And I just saw some food being delivered and she was not exaggerating. I don't even think that 4 people would be able to finish 1 dish. I don't actually know how much we're going to be able to eat here. I asked people to join me so I could eat more, but I still think I'm only going to be able to order 1 dish. It's crazy. Also, just looking at the prices on the menu, I can't see anything that's over, okay, the highest I've seen so far is 68. 68 is the highest I've seen so far. That is extremely reasonable. Big portions, low prices. This is like the ultimate Dongbei restaurant. I am here with my new friends. 你们来过吗？这里？没有。你来过吗？第一次。你们都是东北人吗？你是哪里的？沈阳的。你呢？
我是河北保定人，来这边工作。
欢迎您来到东北。我们来那个蒸饺。
I saw online that these dumplings are one of their best sellers, and they're also famously huge.
有没有小粉？
Okay. Another dish everyone seems to order here is this one called ichuguo. It's the quintessential Dongbei one-pot stew. You can't get more Dongbei than this. Perhaps you can with our last dish actually, jianggutou, which are slow braised pork bones.
这多吗？还是我们还要点一个？
And as if we didn't already have enough food on the table, the restaurant also gifts every table these fresh dipping vegetables.
你觉得我们能吃完吗？加油！你能吃几个饺子？
我能吃8个。
你呢？
我能吃9个。
那我就10个吧。
Spoiler alert, none of us could eat more than 2.
It's quite a thick skin. I guess it has to be because it's such a big dumpling. If it was a thin wrapper, this wouldn't make it to your plate. So I'd say it's probably a bit more dough in the mouth than I would like, but the filling is nice, it's quite rich. My mouth is in need of some refreshment. So that's where this comes in. This is like a fundamental part of Dongbei eating culture. You just take raw veggies and then you dip it in the dipping sauce. And it's just a nice little I always find this interesting to see here because in China, people generally like their vegetables cooked, but in Dongbei, you have them served raw like this. And it's also interesting because Dongbei food cuisine, you don't really have too many fresh vegetables available in the wintertime. So the fact that you often see it on the table, I feel like sometimes it's almost like a celebration of we've got fresh stuff, let's eat it while it's fresh. Because a lot of the vegetables in Dongbei, they have to be preserved, like sauerkraut or like potato or corn. This dish here, Yi Chu Guo, I think it's called, is basically a celebration of the vegetables that you will find in the wintertime here in Dongbei. Underneath all that juicy meat on top, you've got 3 of the most quintessential Dongbei winter survival veggies, as well as at least 50 corn cakes, which are amazing, by the way, dipped into that rich sauce at the bottom. This is serious comfort food. But speaking of comfort food, you can't go past a piece of meat in the hand. 你吃过酱骨头吗？
没有，这是我初体验。
我们东北人要教这个北方人怎么吃酱骨头。So we're getting some straws. Because the way to eat this is after you appreciate all the yummy tender meat on the outside, you actually insert a straw into the bone and suck out the incredibly rich marrow inside.
哦，很香。
It's just one of those unapologetically meaty dishes. It's meat that tastes like meat, it looks like meat, it smells like meat. There's not a whole lot distracting from the fact that this is meat. So if you like meat, you're gonna like this. Talking of things that you can drink with a straw, you guys brought me this from Shenyang. 你可以帮我介绍一下这个是什么东西吗？
This is a typically porridge in Shenyang, but they made it into yeah. You see the picture over here, and then they kind of merge together with the boba to make it into a kind of boba tea. And this brand is actually originates from Shenyang as well.
Do I?
Yeah, poke
like
the
this?
hole inside in the middle.
I like it. I didn't realize that brown sugar and corn would go together so well, but it's a really nice pairing. And I have to say, drinking marrow from jiangguotou with a boba straw, it just hits different.
With a little bit of corn.
A bit of corn flavor, but it's nice. Okay, let's take new bets. How much of this are we gonna eat? In terms of percentage, how much will be left?
75.
I think so.
Yeah. We've been eating for about 45 minutes now, and we've hardly made a dent in this. How is this possible? And since there's absolutely no chance we're finishing this all off in one sitting, I took out some meat to the restaurant's dog. 可以给他吗？ Okay. And I can now understand why he's waiting here so patiently. I don't think I'm the first customer to do this, and I don't think I'll be the last. This dog knows what's up. I got you a snack. Oh. And he absolutely polished this off. We even brought him some more later. As for the rest, we distributed it between the 4 of us using the biggest takeout containers known to man. And I had to pop in to let you guys know something hilarious. So I filmed that video in Tieling 1 week ago. I've already arrived back in Australia, but I just received a message in the group chat from the sisters saying that they've just polished off their last portion of their takeout. So the meal was so big that 1 week later, I feel like I've lived a lifetime in this week. I'm back in Australia, I'm doing my thing, and they're still eating this massive meal from 1 week ago at that restaurant. Wow, biggest meal of my life. What a day it has been. I started the day in Tieling. I'm actually ending it in a complete other city because the restaurant was right on the border of 2 cities, Tieling and Kaiyuan. I've come to Kaiyuan station to get myself a train back home to Tongchuan. But wow, I was hoping that today was going to deliver those peak Dongbei vibes, and I feel like it's done that and more. I have eaten dishes I never thought I would see on this side of China. I've had portion sizes that would shock even Dongbei people. I can't believe this is going to be my last video that I release of 2025, so I wanted to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you for following along with my food adventures this year. I can't wait to see where 2026 takes us, what we're going to be eating, and I'm wishing you all the best for the new year. I also want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, the Insta360 X5, my favorite device. There's currently 15% off the Insta360 X5 until the 4th of January. You can check that out in the link in my description. That's gonna end today's food adventure. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and goodbye from the end of the universe.